Office at a signing ceremony of a VA accountability bill on Friday, and as well as the Roosevelt Room, just off the Oval Office. They set it up for us, and we had a chance to sit down with the president for about 15 minutes, and he answered our questions. And we're going to bring it to you all morning long, including starting with this. Mr. President, thank you very much for joining Fox.
Thank you, Pete.
Appreciate
it.
You faced resistance on this bill, but of course you've faced resistance on the entirety of your agenda. Who's been your biggest opponent? Has it been Democrats resisting? Has it been fake news media? Has it been deep state leaks? When you think about it, what holds it up the most?
Well, you know, when I ran, I talked about the rigged system because I saw I was winning states and I wasn't getting the delegates that I should be getting. And, you know, I would look at this. I said, what kind of a system? Well, the whole system is there's a lot of bad things going on, a lot of very bad things going on.
Thanks for breaking that down for me.
One of the things that should be solved, but it probably won't be, is that the Republicans and Democrats don't get together. And I'm open arms, but I don't see that happening. They fight each other. The level of hostility, and by the way, this isn't just Trump. This has been like this for years. You've been doing this for a long time.
He's been doing this for 2 weeks. He's 17 years old.
It's been like that for a long time. But the level of hostility, as an example, the health care bill that you are reporting on and everybody's reporting on, it would be so great if the Democrats and Republicans could get together, wrap their arms around it, and come up with something that everybody's happy with. It's so easy. But we won't get one Democrat vote.
You just said you wanted to negotiate.
Not one. And if it were the greatest bill ever proposed in mankind, we wouldn't get a vote. And that's a terrible thing. So there is, well, look, their theme is resist. I've never heard of anything like this, resist.
How frustrating is it to have former President Obama? They're out there leading the resistance.
Well, I don't think he's leading it. He actually just put out a small statement. I don't see that leading it, but other people are leading. Don't forget, I saw Schumer criticizing the bill a couple of weeks ago, and he had no idea what was in the bill. He was saying this bill is this and it's that. He had no idea. In fact, the Republican senators didn't know because it wasn't released. Very few people knew. So he was criticizing a bill that he had no idea what was in the bill. But that's called the resistance. I mean, that's a terrible word. Think of it. Their theme is resist. Their theme should be, let's get together, envelop, let's get together. But their theme is resist. It's obstruction. And the problem is they become obstructionists. And the voters, I happen to like it from the standpoint of running for office, but I think it's a terrible theme in terms of getting elected. And more importantly, I think it's a terrible theme for the people of this country. Resist, obstruction. That's not what they want.
How do you overcome that when someone like Senator Warren, Elizabeth Warren, literally says people are going to die because of President Trump's health care bill?
Well, I actually think she's a hopeless case. I call her Pocahontas, and that's an insult to Pocahontas. I actually think that she is just somebody that's got a lot of hatred, a lot of anger.
She fucking hates us. She hates us. We're trying to kill these people. We're trying to take away their Medicaid, and she won't let us do it. She hates us.
She's got a loud microphone. And
well, she does, but, you know, I don't think she has the kind of support that some people do. I think she hurt Hillary. I watched her campaigning for Hillary, and she was so angry. Hillary would be sitting back listening to her, trying to smile. But there were a lot of people in that audience that were going, wow, is this what we want? There's a lot of anger there and hostility. So, no, I think she's a highly overrated voice.
Some people might say the lever of anger is unprecedented, but it's also unprecedented for a former president to come out the way President Obama has. He came out on Facebook recently. You may have seen it. He said, your bill, Mr. President, not a health care bill. It's a massive transfer of wealth. It's going to harm Americans. It's mean. What do you say to the former president?
Well, he actually used my term, mean. That was my term, because I want to see
something that's mean. I mean, these people are disgusting. I mean, they're walking around outside my tower, Trump Tower. They're like 20 feet away from the entrance. I mean, it's disgusting. So, yeah, we need something mean.
I want to see, and I speak from the heart. That's what I want to see. I want to see a bill with heart. Healthcare is a very complicated subject from the standpoint that you move it this way and this group doesn't like it. You move it a little bit over here. You have a very narrow path. And honestly, nobody can be totally happy.
So I flipped a coin and decided to cut taxes on the very richest people in the country.
Even without the votes, forget about votes. This has nothing to do with votes. This has to do with picking a plan that everybody's going to like. I'd like to say love, but like. But we have a very good plan. We have a few people that are, I think you could say modestly, they're not standing on the rooftops and screaming. They want to get some points. I think they'll get some points.
Are Republican senators doing enough to have your back to get that health care bill through?
I think so. You know, I have great relationships with most of the people in the Senate, with, as you know, most of the people in the House. I think I work very hard. I made a lot of great friendships with the people in the House, a lot of them. Same thing in the Senate. They're four very good people. They're friends of mine. And I don't think they're that far off. I don't think they're that far off. You know, famous last words, right? But I think we're going to get there. For years, I've been watching the battle of health care. And I watched during the Clinton administration, Hillary, rightfully, devoted her life to trying to get health care. She was unable to get it. You watched what happened with Obamacare, which by the time they finished with it, it was, you know, something that doesn't work. But look what happened with Nebraska, where they gave the great Nebraska giveaway in order to give a vote.
Cornhusker kickback.
And it was a very closed session. You know, they talk about closed and behind closed doors. There was nothing more closed than Obamacare. But the bottom line is they worked so long and so hard. They got a plan that didn't work. They got a health care plan that didn't work. And I've only been there for 5 months. You know, they worked for a long time. During the Clinton administration, they worked essentially during the entire administration. Health care is a very, very tough thing to get, but I think we're going to get it. We don't have too much of a choice because the alternative is the dead carcass of Obamacare. That's what it is.
I opened up the failing New York Times and the Washington Post this morning. No mention at all of this bill that you're signing today. For veterans who are so passionate about this, it's such a historic bill. Are they going to cover this? And if they don't, why don't they cover it the way they cover every breathless scandal in the media today?
Well, I just heard today for the first time that Obama knew about Russia a long time before the election, and he did nothing about it. But nobody wants to talk about that. That the CIA gave him information on Russia a long time before they even, before the election. And I hardly see it. It's an amazing thing to me. In other words, the question is, if he had the information, why didn't he do something about it? He should have done something about it. But you don't read that. It's quite sad.
That never leaked out.
That doesn't leak out. No, they're very selective leaks with sources. I always love the sources, many of which don't exist. But no, there is a thing going on in the country, and hopefully it's somewhat of a sickness in that sense. But you know what? I am so proud of what we've done in such a short period of time.